can see, at the end of the day, if you let Caitlin Clark play her game, this team can make some noise. If you don't let Caitlin Clark play her game, this team will be playing with... Oh, Stephanie. This is the most dumbest coach in the league. You have the player coaches die for her, and White is doing everything she can to kill CeCe's brand and take away her talent, and not willing to put a team around her, also willing to drag down the whole league with it couldn't see if you rides the boat, all tides will be lifted. She was known for team killer, and that fits now.
Something reportedly happened inside the Indiana Fever organization that completely stunned the basketball world. And according to fans online, this wasn't just another locker room rumor. This time, many believed the entire Fever system had finally started falling apart from within. At the center of all the drama were Caitlin Clark, Stephanie White, and a leaked ESPN report that sent the internet into absolute chaos. The Fever were already dealing with massive pressure, fans upset over coaching decisions, growing concerns about locker room chemistry, and non-stop controversy surrounding the team. Constant controversy surrounding Caitlin Clark and non-stop criticism aimed at Stephanie White had already pushed the Indiana Fever into months of emotional chaos. But after the latest reports began spreading online, everything suddenly felt different, bigger, more serious. According to rumors blowing up across social media, insiders from ESPN had reportedly talked about rising tension inside the Fever organization. Nothing had been officially confirmed, but the moment fans heard phrases like locker room frustration and internal pressure connected to Indiana, the internet erupted instantly. At first, many supporters assumed it was just another overblown sports rumor. But then the situation escalated even more. Clips from recent Fever games quickly resurfaced online, emotional reactions on the sidelines, tense timeout discussions, and players appearing completely out of sync with each other.
To me, ESPN's newest stooge, Laurencia Moten. Just like Carolyn Peck, just like Stephanie White, they all believe the Indiana Fever is tougher to guard when Caitlin Clark is not in the lineup. Different day, but it's the same message they keep going out.
Fans started rewatching every single moment all over again. And before long, many people became convinced that the Indiana Fever locker room had been falling apart behind the scenes for weeks. Then came the moment that changed everything. Rumors began spreading that Stephanie White could actually step away from the Fever amid the chaos surrounding Caitlin Clark and the growing backlash from fans. And honestly, that possibility alone sent the internet into a frenzy. Clark fans forced her out. The pressure became overwhelming. The Fever lost control. Those reactions spread across social media instantly, and suddenly the entire WNBA world was focused on Indiana again. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark stayed completely silent publicly. No emotional interviews, no dramatic social media posts, nothing at all. And somehow, that silence only made the situation feel even more intense. Fans started believing Clark was emotionally drained after carrying enormous pressure around the organization for months. Then Sophie Cunningham entered the conversation, and that's when the internet truly exploded.
And who is this person in the middle of my screen? Didn't we get rid of Monica McNutt last year? She's back, isn't she? Ah, dang.
Here's my hot take. Honestly, the Indiana Fever played some of their best team basketball without Caitlin Clark, and that's because she's like the sun that offense kind of orbits around. The ball is constantly in her hands, which just made their offense extremely easy to guard. Now, without her in the lineup, Stephanie White had to decide who else was going to get in the mix. And their offense became so much more diverse. We saw Kelsey Mitchell have a tremendous season. Lexi Hull got in the fold. Aaliyah Boston, another dominant season. But all because they had to do it without Caitlin Clark. And that made their offense extremely hard to guard.
Because according to fan theories spreading online, Sophie Cunningham appeared visibly frustrated during recent team moments involving coaching and communication. Then one alleged quote suddenly spread everywhere online. "We can coach ourselves." Again, nothing was officially confirmed. But once fans connected Sophie Cunningham's emotional reactions with the rumors surrounding Stephanie White, social media completely lost control. Supporters already viewed Sophie as one of Caitlin Clark's strongest protectors inside the Indiana Fever locker room. Fans constantly praised her passion, intensity, and willingness to stand up for her teammates emotionally.
Fever finished 24-20 last year.
Look at Monica McNutt. Oh, folks, you know what this sounds like? This sounds like a certain somebody else.
You were at that game just now. Look, the Fever have been on a tear. They've won 2 in a row, a 25-point blowout of the Lynx in the Commissioner's Cup final, and then 27 against the Aces in this one. In both of those games without Caitlin Clark. How is Indiana getting this done right now?
And now supporters believed Sophie Cunningham had finally reached her breaking point too. Meanwhile, Indiana Fever fans completely turned against Stephanie White online. Comment sections became ruthless. Sports pages were flooded with emotional reactions, and many supporters openly blamed the coaching staff for wasting the most important player in women's basketball, Caitlin Clark. Then another twist hit the story. Rumors began circulating that several Fever players had grown frustrated with the team's overall direction before the season had even fully settled. Once again, nothing was officially confirmed. But by that point, fans were believing almost every rumor instantly because the emotional atmosphere surrounding Indiana already seemed unstable. Then discussion clips from ESPN started spreading all over social media again. Fans analyzed every sentence, every reaction, and every mention of Indiana drama, and suddenly many supporters became convinced the organization was hiding something much bigger behind the scenes.
Now they're all buddies. Now they're all friends. They're pals. So Stephanie White tells Carolyn Peck how she feels about Caitlin Clark and the offense when the ball's in her hands and the offense when she's on the floor and how Caitlin Clark affects the game. And then Carolyn Peck goes on ESPN and regurgitates that same message that Stephanie White gave her. And now ESPN hires this newest stooge who's looking up to Mama Hen, aka Carolyn Peck, and now she's regurgitating the stuff that Carolyn Peck said to her.
Meanwhile, rival fan bases jumped right into the chaos. Chicago Sky fans, Las Vegas Aces fans, and Dallas Wings fans all started reacting online. At that point, the Indiana Fever had once again become the center of the basketball world. But honestly, that's the level of pressure surrounding Caitlin Clark now. Every moment turns into national headlines. Every rumor explodes across social media. Every emotional reaction becomes a massive controversy. And after months of non-stop drama around the Fever, many fans believed the organization was finally starting to crack under the pressure. Then another emotional moment pushed supporters over the edge. A clip surfaced online showing Caitlin Clark silently walking toward the locker room after a difficult game, while fans shouted support for her from the stands. The image spread everywhere instantly, and many supporters felt Clark looked emotionally drained. Not angry, not emotional, just completely exhausted.
But let's talk about it, shall we? Let's take a look, shall we? Shout out to Millie, daydream this. The Fever are better with Caitlin Clark. A look at Indiana's performance with and without Clark on the floor. Record, better with Caitlin Clark. Win percentage, better with Caitlin Clark. Points per game, higher with Caitlin Clark. Offensive rating, higher with Caitlin Clark. Effective field goal percentage, higher with Caitlin Clark. Assist rate, higher with Caitlin Clark. But we're not done here.
That's when fans stopped believing this was only about basketball. Many felt the pressure, media attention, coaching drama, and non-stop controversy surrounding Caitlin Clark had created a toxic environment inside the Indiana Fever. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull kept receiving huge support online, with fans praising how strongly they stood behind Clark. Rumors also spread that Stephanie White had become overwhelmed by the non-stop pressure surrounding the team. Nothing was officially confirmed, but once those rumors mixed with the alleged ESPN leaked discussions, social media exploded again. Now, fans believe the Fever may be approaching a massive turning point. Because Caitlin Clark is no longer just a player. She's the center of the entire WNBA conversation, and many supporters feel the chaos in Indiana may only be getting bigger.